Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to climb out of low elo, specifically using Malzahar. It's going to be partly a PowerPoint presentation, a quick summarization of what I think you should be doing, and then a live commentary of me going through a game where I play Malzahar in decently low MMR. I think it's around silver to gold. So, step number 1. Why should you play Malzahar? Well, Malzahar is extremely simple as a champion. Hot he looks over there. Just don't get distracted by his abs, guys. Don't get distracted by them. You could lick them and use enough homoerotica though. So Malzahar, why should you play him? Well, as a champion, he infinitely scales. He's very good with gold, and he gets a lot of push. He has a lot of setup for his team, and he's very simple mechanically. I was thinking about playing a champion like Karthus. I actually recorded a full game of Karthus, but I think he's a little bit too complicated and get into a little bit of trouble in certain matchups if you don't know how to navigate them. So I just decided Malzahar, very easy. I'm going to simplify the way that you're going to be playing him so much that you can basically just turn off your brain and try to remember what I talked about in this video, and you will just climb. So, how do you play level 1 to 5 on Malzahar? Well, generally speaking, you are just going to be relaxing. You're going to be sitting back and you're going to be last hitting. You might be getting pushed in because your champion does not shove very quickly early, and you need to be careful not to run out of mana. The main thing to keep in mind here is you need to preserve around 300 mana for when you need to push out the wave instantly and get your recall when you have either enough gold for a lost chapter or if you've been harassed out because you suck early game. Afterwards, how do you play after your first base? Well, usually this is the point where you have your lost chapter, and you know what you're going to do? You are going to push in the wave, you're going to blow all your spells on the wave, and then you are going to leave the lane. You're actually going to follow a flowchart that I have on the next slide. How do you play side lane on Malzahar? Well, it's very funny you should ask. Do you know what you do? You go into the side lane, you collect resources, you go to where there are waves, you push out the wave, and then you group up with your teammates afterwards, or you try to pressure a tower, depending on how the map looks, right? And the build you're going to be going on Malzahar is very simple. You're basically always going Liandry's into Rylai's, and then third and fourth item can be situational. You're going to be taking Arcane Comet because Arcane Comet can consistently proc when you have Rylai's, and your DOT reduces the cooldown of the Arcane Comet, which is a very cool fact. Does a lot of damage in fights. So, this is the magical flowchart I was talking about. So, what do? You push your wave, and then you ask yourself, do I need to base? And the thing you consider when you ask yourself, do I need to base, is what is my health? If you're low health, you need to base. What is my mana? If you're low mana, you need to base. How much gold do I have? If you have enough gold for a breakpoint item, either lost chapter or maybe a full item, you base, okay? Afterwards, if the answer to the question, do I need to base, is no, you ask yourself, can I roam anywhere? And what do we consider here? Well, you look down at your minimap, you have a little look, you put on your UAV, you're like, okay, what is the map looking like? What are my side lanes doing? Maybe my top laner is pushing the enemy under tower. Okay, maybe I'm not gonna gank that then. Maybe my bot lane is getting shoved under tower. Well, maybe I can run bot lane and get a gank off, right? Very important. A roam that looks good initially can turn out to be very bad when you're halfway down the river, in which case, cut off the roam. It's okay, it's fine, you don't have to commit to roams when you think they're bad. Always keep yourself updated on where you're going and where you're roaming to, and do not be afraid of just cutting off a roam completely if it looks bad by the time you get halfway down the river. Also, be very aware that diving is a very real opportunity. If your lanes are pushing the enemy under tower, going for dives is completely valid. Okay, if the answer to can I roam anywhere is no, you ask yourself, can I get a ward? And what do we consider here? Usually, the only thing to really worry about is, do I have enough time to go for a deep ward? And what do we mean by this? Well, you have a certain amount of time after you push out a wave until the next wave arrives. If you push out the wave very quickly, you have a lot of time, meaning you have a lot of time to go for a deep ward. If you don't push out the wave very quickly, that means you don't have a lot of time, which means you cannot go for a deep ward. You just have to go for a ward in either Pixel Brush or in River, right? Okay? Alright, with that being said, if you do enjoy the content, please subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. Helps out a lot. Helps the channel. Keeps my dopamine going up every single day. And if you want to, you can check out the Patreon where I record videos similar to these and upload them, and yeah. So, we're playing Malzahar. We're playing Malzahar into Lux, and I'm gonna give myself the rule because I want to be able to showcase this without being able to demolish the enemy laner. How you can carry games by just being good at macro and just doing very simple things for yourself. So all we're gonna do is we're going to push waves, and then we're going to roam. That is all we are going to do. We are going to push our waves out, and then we are going to roam. So I will already level 1 start just pushing. Just hit the minions as much as possible. Try to avoid taking damage. If the enemy steps up, you can blast them with a little bit of an E and then call it a day. That is it. You are just going to be pushing the waves. You're going to be constantly auto-attacking the wave. Try to push as much as possible. Take W level 2 and then keep blasting the wave. Push them in. People will usually miss minions at lower levels when you push them in, which is very good. Means you can generate CS advantages out of just kind of thin air just by pushing people in. As you can see, already 3 minions ahead of the Lux. And we're gonna keep going. We're just going to keep using our E and our W to push the wave. Sometimes you miss minions. That is okay. I'm gonna take 2 points in E because I'm not gonna Q. So why am I not gonna Q? Because all I'm gonna do is push wave. Aw, she blasted my minions. Now I'm getting pushed in. What a disaster. The tables have turned. But now we're just gonna go back to pushing the wave. She has learned that she needs to E every single time I use my W, so that's good on her. Good job to her on that one. I will just keep blasting the wave, and as you can see, I'm running pretty out of mana, so I have to be a little bit careful about that. Ideally, you want to preserve enough mana to be able to go for a recall at some point, and it usually takes quite a bit of mana to push out the wave. So let's just hit the wave with auto attacks. Your E generates you mana when you last hit, so blast it with anyone with the E on it, you get mana back, so you can just use your E and then last hit a couple of minions. Lux just used spells. She just wasted her E, which means I now get to use my W to push her in again, just like I did before. And she just used her E again. She's actually running herself out of mana because I'm pushing in. She is staying even in CS, but she's very low on mana now, which means I can keep pushing her in, and there's nothing she can really do about it. Because she doesn't have mana to keep E-ing anymore, right? So she can't actually kill my little voidlings. My sack is getting killed up here. None of my business. Absolutely none of my business. Now I can walk up. After I push out the wave, I'm allowed to roam. But before you push out the wave, you are not allowed to roam. Looks like I wasn't needed anyway. So what can we do after we pushed out the wave? Well, we can go for a ward as well. You have options. You can choose to recall, you can choose to roam, or you can choose to go for a ward. There, I just decided to go for a ward, because there was nothing else that I saw possible. Looks like we get a pretty unlucky bounce, and our E just runs off quickly. That feels bad. That can happen sometimes. It is okay. Just keep pushing in. We have our lost chapter in base now. So at this point, we want to start looking for our base, right? Because we have our item in base. So let's just blow all of our mana on the wave, because we're going to be basing anyway. So it is okay to throw all your mana out. That is why we conserve enough mana to be able to shove a wave very quickly. And now we can base, and we can even preserve our teleport, because we don't need to TP to lane. There's no reason for it. Grab our lost chapter and run to lane. No reason to teleport, because we're not at risk of losing any minions. So, we're back in the lane, and can you guess what we're going to do? That is right, we are going to just keep pushing. Blast our E and our W on the wave, that is all we are going to do. We are not interacting with the enemy Lux. We are just not, there's no need. Just hit the wave, and then you can roam. That is all you are going to do. You can throw a Q on the backline, so you can kill the minions a little bit faster with your E. And then you're going to just push out and then leave. Just leave the lane. After you push out the wave, you are allowed to go for roams. You are allowed to go for wards. You can kind of look for whatever. So I will go on the bot side here and see if there's any vision or anything like that. And then I'm going to come back to mid lane. I'm not committing to roams. You don't need to commit to roams. Lux is running herself out of mana. Again, no need to interact with her. Hit the wave. That is all we need to do here. She doesn't have her teleport available, so here you can do a pretty cool trick, which is when the enemy laner is out of mana, if they want a base, you walk up and you cancel their base to try to keep them trapped in the lane. But I'm just gonna go for a ward after pushing out the wave. Well, looks like she has this area warded. She is wasting mana though, which is good for me. The Briar is around mid lane. Again, I'm not going to interact with the Lux, I'm just gonna keep pushing waves. Looks like it bounced on her, and now I can roam after pushing in the Lux. We can run down, and I think the Briar might be on the dragon, so let's run down and see if we can find a kill on her. Yeah, it's okay. Blow your ult on the Briar, it's completely fine. How did I get cancelled there? Huh. Well, looks like I can't help. Looks like I need to run away from this guy. This Lux is out of mana anyway, so I'm not too worried. I mean, looks like it worked out, but yeah. Whenever you push in, you get to move first. The Lux couldn't respond, and now we're back to just pushing out mid lane. Just like we always have been. Just back to pushing out our lane. And that is how it goes when you play Malzahar. You push the waves, and then you roam. And then you push the waves, and then you roam. Looks like I got a very unlucky bounce there. That sucks. I don't even have to base here, because I just got my Lost Chapter proc, so I can actually just stay in lane and keep pushing. Because Lux is out of mana, so she's losing minions. And we're gonna walk up to the wave here, and we're gonna keep pushing. Yeah, and now we can leave. Ideally I want to get a Q off, but it's fine. I will just take my base, because now I am finally completely out of mana. Now if I really want to, I can teleport back mid lane and try to keep the Lux stuck in lane. Which would be funny. And I think I will actually go ahead and do that. Because now she will lose a couple of minions and I will be able to get a plate. Because now the Lux is recalling, which means that I get to push in this wave without any worries. And while she is in base, I can go for the plate. Looks like she's not gonna base, so she's gonna stay in lane with very low health. Means that I can probably take this plate because Lux is out of mana. She can hit me all she wants to, but it's not really going to do anything. So I will grab the plate and I will walk away. Not gonna do anything fancy. Hit the plate when Lux is out of mana, that's it. We want to try to keep her in lane for as long as possible. The longer she's in lane, the more I can just keep pushing for free without her punishing. So this is good for me. Now I'm just gonna walk out, gonna grab our ward. After we push out the wave, we want to go for wards, right? So let's go for a ward in the enemy jungle. And then we can look to blast this one as well. There we go. Looks like Briar isn't in the top side. And now we return back to mid lane, so we're in mid by the time the waves meet. And then we keep pushing. And now we're gonna grab plates, because if you can't base, or if you don't need to base, if you can't roam anywhere and you don't need to go for a ward, what is the last thing you can do? You can grab plates if the enemy mid laner isn't here. When the enemy mid laner comes back to lane, you just back off and you just wait. And you can see we have a bounty already. And you can see Lux hasn't been able to do anything in this game. She hasn't been able to have any pressure around mid lane just because we're keeping her under tower. That is the most important part here. Keep her under tower. Looks like there's a fight going on over here. Sure, I will move. I forgot to press my E button, so she actually is gonna live. That is inconvenient. But, goes to show. You can grief your mechanics, it's fine. It is okay. Sometimes you grief your mechanics. Can happen. I am recognizing our team comp is full AP outside of Jinx, actually. Which is a little bit concerning, but it's fine. We're just gonna keep pushing the waves. And now we're gonna leave. And we're gonna see if we can do anything down here on the bot side. Maybe we're just grabbing some control and looking for wards. That is okay. Looks like the Lux has understood that she also really wants to push the waves, which is a bit annoying, but what can you do? These bushes for pink wards, maybe grab a little honey fruit snack, and then come back to mid lane and push another wave. Now we can look to take jungle camps. So once you reach a certain point of the game, you are strong enough to take jungle camps after you push out the wave if you don't believe there's anything to do on the map. So now we will go take wolves. Looks like she just one-shot the wave, so I might actually have to stop these wolves to go grab the wave. Otherwise I might lose some minions here, but that is okay. There we go. Grab the waves. Ooh, that dragon is looking very gone. But looks like we're fighting it. I would really prefer to not fight it, because I'm out of mana. I will actually just stay mid lane. I'm not going to roam without having pushed out my wave. Remember? That's the rule. You don't roam before you've pushed out your wave. Your teammates might be mad at you, but who cares? You are listening to the fundamental teachings of the game. Now I would be able to roam. The problem is I'm out of mana. So let me just recall. Looks like the Lux is going for a roam. Well played to her if she gets a kill. I don't really care. I'm gonna run back to mid lane and push out the wave. Could try to find the Lux here and maybe chunk her out or try to kill her. Looks like we're trying to contest the dragon, but unfortunately there's a wave mid lane that I need to grab first. That is just how it goes. And now I can look to run down here. Just looking to play the fight slowly. Get my bounces on everyone. There we go. That's a nice triple kill. And now, after the fight is over, back to collect resources wherever we can. Looks like there's a mid-wave available. Let's go grab the mid-wave first, boys. That might be coming for me. But we can look to take the mid lane tower now, because who can defend it? Lux is dead. Let's just grab a tower then. Sucks that the Briar stole the dragon. None of my business. I'm getting resources for myself here. Push out this wave as well. And now we can look to take enemy jungle camps before taking our base. Now we can take our base. I actually almost have Rylai's, so I'm very tempted to stay for another wave. Yeah, this is very greedy, but let's pray that Lux just ults the wave and calls it a day. Hello, bro. There we go, and now we can just take our base, and we have Rylai's. And you can see, we're playing at around 12 CS per minute. And we're not doing anything crazy, we're just staying mid lane, pushing out waves, taking recalls after we push out the wave, and then coming back to mid lane and not dropping any waves at all. Push out the wave, and then after we push the wave out, which it's gonna do automatically when you reach this point, we can look for a roam. And looks like top lane is looking pretty good right now, so let's run up here. We can run top lane here. Gonna ping that I'm on my way. Looks like it's warded, that's fine. I will just run back to mid lane then. If you see that the area is warded, that you're roaming to, you can just cut off the roam. Looks like this might be warded because of the way that the Briar is moving, so I'm gonna walk the safe way. I was afraid of getting caught there. It is okay, you do not have to commit to roams that you do not think are good. So, we just return back to mid lane. And we keep pushing waves. And then after we push the waves, we leave. And then we look to grab a little bit of control over the bot side river. But, because of how close this way... Nah, I'm not going to follow that roam. I'm just going to stay mid lane and push. Stay mid lane, push the wave, and then after we push the wave, now we can look to roam if we want to. I could try to flash ult this Ezreal. But I will just grab the wave and then walk back to mid lane, probably. Oh, looks like we are committing to this fight, but I don't believe there's any way we can make anything happen, so I will just run back to mid lane and grab my wave again. It is okay. Run to some location, the roam doesn't work, that's cool. Just come back to mid lane. All that matters is that you're looking for them. That is all that matters for these roams. You're looking for them, you're trying to apply pressure, and you're continuously collecting waves. I can keep staying mid lane here and just pressure the tower if no one is gonna come here. So I will just keep pushing mid waves. And then go grab enemy jungle camps. And I will just keep accelerating. Just keep getting resources. That is my goal. When you play mid lane, you just keep getting resources on these champions. And that is how you're gonna win games. I am still having an impact on the map because I am still roaming. But all that matters, I get resources on myself so I can carry the game. Teemo is spam pinging, that is fine. I need to go catch the wave mid lane first, unfortunately, my guy. And then after I catch the wave, I can look for a roam top lane if I really want to. Although I think what would be even better is probably look to go for a roam on the bot side to try to defend the Jinx from getting dove here. But we can also just go do the Herald if we really want. Well, looks like there's a Renekton behind me, so I will just leave. Try to hit him with a couple of spells, but I'm not gonna do anything crazy. He is actually slowed by Rylai, so we might be able to catch him. Yeah, I don't mind ulting him just to secure a kill. I'm down for that. Sure. And now, let's go back to grab the wave, right? You get a kill, you grab the wave. You get a kill, you grab the wave. You get resources on yourself. And after you grab the wave, then you can look to pressure. Drake is spawning soon, so realistically I should probably base so I can be there for the dragon. So what teleport allows you to do is it allows you to be extremely greedy and stay out on the map for longer than you have to, and still just be able to spawn on an objective at the correct time. So I'm being very greedy here by staying mid lane, and now I can take my base if I really want to, and then teleport out onto the map and still be there in time for the dragon. I'm going to pick up probably a Void Staff or a Demonic Embrace. I really like Demonic Embrace here, so I will pick that up. Although I do think a Death Cap is better in terms of damage, but that is okay. Again, we're just hitting the wave. We just want to push the wave and then look to roam. That is all we care about. So push the wave out and then look to take control over the next big neutral objective. I could run bot lane here as well, because there's a Lux here. So I will just run down here. Oh, need to be a little bit careful so the dragon doesn't break my shield. There's no way, right? That was absurd. The dragon just ran into Narnia to break my shield. But look at how strong I am. It didn't even matter, because I'm so strong. Look for the waves after the fight is over. Looks like the bot wave is good here. Yeah, the dragon broke my shield there, which almost killed... I'm kind of mad about that. But we're just going to keep pushing out bot lane. And then we can look to grab the tower here. Instantly look for waves, and then call it a day. Gonna keep looking for waves here. Gonna just grab the waves. And then I'm gonna push out the bot wave here, and then probably look to just run mid lane, catch the mid wave. There's a Syra there. That is inconvenient, I cannot lie. Probably should look to base here, considering I have enough gold for my demonic and I'm low on health, but we're grabbing waves, okay? We're grabbing waves. You do not base before you push out your wave. So let's go mid lane, push out the wave, and then I can look for my base if I want to. And you can also just see, I am the highest level in the game, just because I'm catching waves. Looks like they're on the dragon. This dragon might just be gone then. We're not in a position to contest it. That is okay, if that is the case. Which I do believe it is. Would have been really nice if my Zac actually jumped on the Briar there and saved me. But yeah. Looks like he had a bigger fish to fry. So that can happen. Yeah, the Briar definitely should have died there. And I should have lived, but my Zac really wanted to go on the dragon, so what can I do? Sometimes your boys misplay. I think Morello looks good next, just because they have a lot of healing on their team, so sure, let's go for Morello. Now the main problem is with dying is that it makes you lose a bunch of time, where you're not collecting waves and where you're not getting resources, right? That is a big problem, because right there I was dead for around 30 seconds. That means that's 30 seconds where I can't collect resources, and it takes another like 10 seconds, 20 seconds to get back out onto the map, so you're losing a full minute of time where you could be farming. But we're just gonna grab the waves, push out, and now here I'm probably gonna run bot lane. So this is the stage of the game where you start side laning when you play something like a Malzahar, and you start pressuring bot lane. And I ping my Jinx to go mid lane. The reason you do this is you can shove out these bot waves very, very quickly, and then you can look to take control over this part of the jungle very quickly as well. Because what I can do is I can just shove this out, as so. Boom, E, line up the Q like that, and then I can leave. And the minions will do the rest. And now I can look to run behind the Lux maybe even to try to catch her. In case I might find a kill on her here. Which I think I can. I think she's very close to getting one shot there. There we go. That is a one-shot on the Lux. There we go. Kind of loop around them when they don't have vision. Briar is probably running down here. That is fine. We will just push out the waves. That kill right there probably sealed the game. That kill matters a bunch, because that means now the enemy team has to send someone bot lane, otherwise they're bleeding a tier 2 tower. But they have no one to send bot lane. Renekton is top, Ezreal is mid defending the mid tower, and these two players are dead. That kill right there on the Lux, like that is a massive gold swing if you look at the gold graph after the game. That is what, like, we're talking around like a 2,000, 3,000 gold swing just for that kill. Don't think we can realistically pressure the tower, but now what can we do to get resources? Grab all of the bot side jungle. Take it all. Take it all. And what are we doing after we grab the jungle camps? We're grabbing the mid waves. Yeah, grab the mid waves. And then after you grab the mid waves, then you can take your base if you have a bunch of gold, like I do here. So now we just take our base. And now we have our Morello. Just as easy. One kill turns into a massive gold swing. And we're gonna do the same. We're gonna run bot lane, we're gonna pressure bot lane again, and they're gonna have to send people down here. We almost have a 100 CS advantage on the Lux. Even though the Lux, like, if you guys were playing Lux here, you'd be like, damn, I'm actually farming pretty well. And I am still up almost 100 CS on her, which is crazy, right? We're playing at around 12 CS per minute right here. Which is what you can do if you just farm and you do basically nothing else. You only move on very specific timers that you are given. You play very, very conservative with your time. You do not do anything when you don't have time for that before you push the waves. We're gonna keep pushing bot lane here. We see a lot of people up here, so we can keep pushing bot lane. Eventually, they will have to send players here or start the Baron. And if they start the Baron, we have our teleport. And if they don't start the Baron, well then I'm gonna take towers. I might even go to take towers regardless. Depends if they're committing to this. I'm actually very down to teleport here, because the enemy are just lining themselves up in the pit here. A fight is actually good for us, because we're very strong. See if we can one-shot the Ezreal. There we go, that is a one-shot on the Ezreal. I might die here, that's fine. I get all my damage off. Got all my damage off. Completely fine by me. Sometimes you have to die, and we got the bot lane tower. It is very important at this stage of the game that you are there for most of the big fights. You really need to be there for them. That's that. The game is basically done now. Game is basically done now. Two key decisions this game. Two very key decisions. The way we killed Lux on the bot side, and TPing for this Baron. Those were the two decisions that won the game. Everything else was just being efficient and farming. I actually don't mind picking up a Magi's here. Just because the next item I'm probably grabbing is a Death Cap, which is very expensive. So I need to have the best placeholder item until I get 3.6k gold. We could run to the dragon here. I probably should run to the dragon, but the dragon doesn't give me gold. So I'm gonna run to the top side here and take camps. And then what do I do after I grab this blue buff? I'm definitely gonna be running mid lane and grabbing the wave. Yep, we're just gonna be running mid lane here, and we're gonna be pushing the waves. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ult Briar when she jumps in, probably. The job of Malzahar is usually not to catch the enemy backline, it is usually just to be annoying to the enemy frontline and try to catch whoever dives in. At this point, I could be split pushing top lane. Wouldn't be a bad decision by any means. I might actually run up and do it. My concern is just my teammates might get caught mid and die. I don't trust that they're gonna manage to somehow not get caught and die, you know? But I doubt that we can actually make any progress just by grouping mid lane. Although my sack is the one that needs to look for an engage. I will actually just ping them back. No, please don't fight. If they're gonna fight, then I will run there. Looks like we found a Briar. She's just dead. That's very good. We could probably just run mid lane here, but I will actually run to the top lane and just keep pushing. Again, resources. That's all I'm valuing here. And my Jinx found a way to get one-shots. That can happen as well. But we're just gonna be pressuring top lane. Because now the enemy team is all of a sudden going to have to send someone top lane to defend this as well. Which opens up a lot of opportunity mid lane. It is a map. We are trying to stretch the map apart right now. We're trying to make the enemy team have to cover everything at once. The Lux is top lane. Which means that opens up mid lane. So I will run mid lane here. Try to find a catch. There we go. We found 2 kills. And now I could keep playing mid lane, but I'm just gonna run back to top lane and keep pressuring. I have no interest in this fight mid lane. I will just run top lane and keep pressuring. Force someone to come top lane again, and then maybe we can force a fight mid lane. Problem with Malzahar, he doesn't really have any proactive tools. You might think his ult is a proactive tool. Not really, to be honest. Looks like there's a fight happening mid lane. I'm not too bothered. I will just take the top lane tower. Or inhib. Very cool thing you can do. You can spread your dot onto the Syra plants. Looks like I'm getting quite the treatment here. I might have to flash here, to be honest. Depends if my team are trying to defend me. Sure, I will ult the enemy front line. It is not a bad idea. See if I can kill the plants here. I might have to flash as well, which is okay. If you have to flash away, that's fine. Lux should die here as well. Just gonna keep blasting her with some blinds and run away. There we go. Take my base. I have teleport, so I can just base and then TP back into the fight. Now we can grab the bot lane inhib, and my ult is almost up again. And as you can see, I'm 100 CS up on everyone in the game. I'm full build. Lux is on 3 items. I have a 2-item advantage on her right now. It is hard for me to not be more useful than her, to be honest. Because I just have so much more gold. Renekton can flash on me if he wants to. I'm probably dead because I ulted at a bad timer. That is fine. I also think my teammates should have been defending from me here, so I could instantly pop my ult on him as soon as he went on me, but I digress. So at this point, we have all of their inhibs, we have all of their towers, so all we really need to do is walk over, grab the Baron, and then we can stand in their base and dance, and we will end the game. But take a look at this scoreboard. I'm not doing extraordinarily well with my KDA, right? Like, Syndra is clearly doing better when it comes to, like, actual KDA and kills and such. But it doesn't matter, because I have so much gold. Syndra has 2 items, I have 5, right? Oh, looks like we can just end the game as well. That works too. I'm not even gonna be in the family photo!
An enemy has been slain.
What a game.